Hello and welcome to CIO News on our ZMOT Zero Moment of Truth series for startups. I'm Khushbu Soni, a host for the broadcast and a contributing editor at CIO News, where we write about business strategy and boardroom issues for technology leaders. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website, which is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn page. Let me dive in introducing my guest for today. He's Yash Shah. He's the co-founder and chief executive at ClientJoy. Yash has rich experience of more than 15 years serving as mentor board for entrepreneurship cells at various reputed institutes. Prior to ClientJoy, Yash was a co-founder and CEO for Gridin, and he's worked with companies like Andhra Bank, IIM, and Ahmedabad. Welcome, Yash.
Thank you. Thank you, Khushbu, for having me today.
Awesome. So, Yash, if you can give us a quick brief about ClientJoy, that'd be great.
Sure, absolutely. So, ClientJoy basically helps agencies and freelancers. So, essentially, companies that are in the business of offering professional services like IT services, digital marketing agencies, design companies, consulting firms, even management firms. ClientJoy helps these kind of companies manage their complete client lifecycle, right? So, starting from managing their leads, proposals, contracts, projects, ticketing, invoicing, and then payments. So the whole cycle of their clients happen in one place. So that's basically what the product does. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yash, if you can give us your founding story, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're three co-founders, and we started working together. We've known each other since school. We worked on school and college and live projects, and we started with this hobby project when we were at our previous jobs, right? So I was working at a bank, and Nanabua was running her own web design studio, and Shashwat was also working at a startup before, and so apart from our jobs, we were kind of designing static websites, right? And so we started kind of that way, and over the next couple of years, we realized that we're making more money from this hobby project than with our full-time jobs. At the same time, we're having fun working together as well. So why don't we just start doing this full time? And then so we started our own IT service agency where we were just doing websites, the three of us. And then over a period of time, we kind of grew it from 3 people to 50 people operation. We kind of also diverged into building SaaS products, fintech products. We built e-commerce marketplaces and so on and so forth, and mobile applications and stuff like that. And while we were doing that, one of the things that we realized, I think late 2018, early 2019, was that we were spending a large amount of our time just managing our clients and making sure that we were able to kind of steer the ship in the right direction, right? Because we were using like 5-6 different softwares. We had a sales software and then a project management software and then another invoicing software, and just kind of tying all of those loose ends together. Plus management of clients always happened on emails, and so we're not able to do really good impactful work. So we reached out to our peers and tried looking for a solution as to what were they doing about it. And nothing really good existed that solved this particular problem, because agencies and freelancers or companies that offer professional services, they're fundamentally different than other companies. So they don't have inventory, they don't have manufacturing, they don't have a lot of those aspects. And so for them, their inventory is their people, right? And their people's time and experience is what they are renting out to their customers. And so they really required, including us, they required a very specific platform that could help them kind of just make sense of things, identify what their bottlenecks are, identify what their growth enablers are, and still do a decent job of managing their clients across the board. And so that's basically when we came up with the idea of ClientJoy, and we said we've built SaaS products before, so why don't we build our own product? And so February 2019 we started working on a basic prototype. November 2019 we launched the first version out in the market. And then 2-3 months ago, we stopped all of our services business and just had enough kind of confidence and revenues and customer base built that we decided to focus 100% on building the product and kind of taking that as a vision forward. So that's basically how we started.
Nice, interesting, nice. What is the most happiest moment that you could think of?
So one of the happiest moment that I it's kind of bittersweet, but It's more sweet than bitter, however it may look. So but so when we had launched in November 2019, the first 1.5 2 months was very difficult, in the sense that we were getting a lot of angry feedbacks from people saying that the product is not stable. There are a lot of bugs and issues, and there are a lot of micro flows that have not yet been completed, and should need a lot more work. And so the product team was under a little bit of stress, in the sense that, hey, we've not delivered the product that the market expects. However, that was a really nice kind of a moment for me, and for the team as well, because I firmly believe that the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. And over here there were people who were genuinely affected by our product's ineffectiveness, right? And so they were caring about the product, and they were asking us to be better. So if your product is not good, you can always make it better over a period of time, which we've done over the last 1 year. It's much more robust, stable. We've built a lot more features. We've attracted a lot more customers. We've got amazing reviews on G2 Crowd, Capterra, Google reviews, and so on and so forth. Um, but that was the time when we kind of realized that we are solving a problem that genuinely exists, and if the solution is not good, there are people who care, and they tell you that, hey, these are the things that you need to do about it. And so that was like the happiest. So it was not a moment, it was like a 1.5 month journey for us. Fairly difficult one at that, but it was really nice to know that the market is ready and there, and cares about the quality of the product that we put out.
I think that's a very good thought process to have as an entrepreneur. I think
Yeah.
interesting. So, Yash, what are the interesting numbers like? If you want to share a few.
Sure. So we've over the last 1 year, or little over a little more than a year, since the product's been out there in the market, we've been able to capture about 1,900 odd agencies as our customers, and they belong to 30 plus countries, right? So we've got customers from US, from obviously from India, and then from Southeast Asia, Australia, some parts of Europe as well. And we've raised 3 rounds of equity financing thus far. The first one came in from CII, which is an IIM Ahmedabad-based incubator, and then the last one we raised from a VC. And so that's also been some amount of validation for us as well. We're a 30 people team, kind of quietly building our own product slowly and gradually, and then kind of going forward. But that's basically some interesting numbers for you.
Awesome, awesome. If you want to share a few of your challenging moment, most challenging.
Like the one challenging moment is where when we made that decision, of letting go of all of our services revenue, and then moving on to the product 100%. And that was challenging, not because we lacked confidence in the product. There was enough validation out there for us to focus on the product, and make that call. However, we've had customers in our services business where we worked with for more than 2 years. We built their applications from scratch, and there was significant amount of revenue that was coming in from those customers, and they were our long term. They were giving us referrals, and we were really growing, right? We went from 3 people to 50 people over the period of 3 years. And so that business was also growing, but we realized over a period of like the 1 year where we had both of them going on together, we realized that if we wanted to focus 100% on the product, it's not possible to run both the business side by side. So that was, I think, one of the most challenging moments, where we knew that there is a problem that needs to be solved. However, the solution requires you to move away from something that has been giving you a steady stream of revenues, and that is basically source of some of the best business relationships that you've built over the last 5 years. And so that's been one of the most challenging decisions that we've taken.
What was the impact of COVID?
So there was so on us, and as you can talk to other IT service companies. A large number of them, there was little or no impact. Of course, there was on the business front, right? So there was a knee-jerk reaction that you saw in April and May that came about, but then at the end of May, like starting of June, for IT services companies or IT product companies also, things kind of started to come back to normal, unless your customers were retailers, right? Or something to that effect, where there's an extended effect even now up to an extent. And so there was not a lot of impact in terms of our business for us. However, there was an impact in the way that our team behaved, right? Because previously we didn't even have work from home as a policy or an option. So we'd always worked in the office and together, and we've always had arguments and discussions, while we were physically present, and we've never had, forget elongated amount of time without seeing each other, but we've never had even like 2 days, 5 days, 7 days of not being in physical proximity of each other and having those discussions and conversations. And so that was the biggest impact for us in terms of the culture in the team, of COVID, on the business.
Um, how is ClientJoy helping its customer in this whole situation that we are in? Anything that you can share?
So one is that we have our own product which helps them manage their clients. The other some of the initiatives that we've taken is basically we're looking at ClientJoy not as a product company but as a media company. And so what we're doing, is that we're not creating content. We are basically trying to curate existing content. So there have been enough brilliant minds in the agency business who have talked about how should you start and grow and run an agency business. And so instead of us taking the role of an expert, what we are doing is we are basically building the largest resource library for our customers, right? So we're curating all the content that exists in one place. So basically, if you're running an IT service company that's 30 people, and you're facing a challenge in terms of what are the processes that you need to have in your company, I'll have like three video sessions that have been added on YouTube, or have been a part of a webinar, or have been written in an ebook, ready for you right away, right? So you ask your question and there'll be answers that are available. And so we're creating that library that will help them. The other thing that we are also doing is we are now we understand and realize that agencies don't just need ClientJoy and that's it. There are other things that they do as well. So if you're a design agency, you'll need something like Sketch or InVision. If you're an IT company, you'll need something like GitHub, or whatever it is that you're using, Bitbucket, right? So what we're doing is we are reaching out to companies like these that agencies need, that are apart from ClientJoy, and then we are saying that, hey, we've got these 1900 agencies as customers. Why don't you offer a discount to them, right? So I'll become a distribution channel for you. Don't pay me any affiliate commission. Instead of that, just pass on that commission as a discount to our customers. So that way, if you're a ClientJoy subscriber, you get access to these products at a discount that you would not had you just approached them through their website and signed up and started using. So that's the second thing that we're doing to help our customers. The other thing that I'd also like to mention is that we mostly cater to agencies that are smaller than 30 people, or around 20 people, right? And those are the kind of agencies that have benefited actually during this time. So again, barring that 1.5 2 months of knee-jerk reaction in April and May, apart from that, a lot of large organizations which were not possible for these small agencies to target. So these large organizations are now looking at smaller agencies because they realize that they'll be able to get more bang for their buck if they start working with these small companies. And then the large agencies that they already had on their payroll, which were 1,000 people digital marketing agency, a large amount of their budgets were not going actually into where it should have been. And these smaller agencies are much more adaptive. They're able to do a lot more. They're able to implement a lot more hacks for these customers, and they're realizing that as well. So a large market has opened up for the kind of agencies that we serve, and that's another bigger advantage as well.
Awesome. Awesome. What is the future of work looks like for ClientJoy?
So at ClientJoy, the future of work is so we've worked 100% from the office before, and we've worked 100% work from home during the lockdown. And one of the things that we've realized is that neither of those extremes kind of work for us. And so we've got to have a solution that's kind of hybrid and kind of brings both of those approaches together, because there are tasks that start at point A, end at point B, and there's A1, A2, A3, and the path. In order to accomplish those tasks, you need to be able to focus and just put all of your energy onto that. You don't need any disturbances. And so those are some of the things that you can do it at your home or cafe or co-working space, whatever the case may be, wherever you are able to find that much amount of peace. However, there are this other set of tasks or activities where you really need to work with someone, right? Or where you need to have passionate discussions and arguments, and probably some amount of fights as well, where it's not something that's as simple as going from point A to point B, because you don't know what is point A, you don't even know what is point B. So you got to find your origin, find your destination as well. And so for those kind of things, it's important that we're in physical proximity so that we can have consistent conversations, and we are able to brainstorm, and we are able to arrive to solutions, or even forget solutions. We are able to, those are the kind of tasks where you'll never even know whether what you thought was a solution. So those are the kind of tasks that where you need to arrive at a hypothesis, right, that is testable. And so since it's kind of mixture of both of them, we are kind of more inclined towards hybrid, where we're saying 3 days of office. So we divide it into 3, 2, and 2. So 3 days of office, 2 days of home, and then the other 2 days of family, right? So that's basically how we are looking at a division of a week.
Awesome. Great. I think I'm done with my questions. Thank you so much, Yash. Before again I end, I just have one question to ask. This is apart from all the work that we've been discussing. Any new hobby that you picked up in the whole lockdown situation where we were all at home? Any new learning? Any new hobby that you picked up?
Yeah. So I'm currently, so this is something that I've not learned, and I don't see for the foreseeable future that I'll complete learning. But I'm learning how to run Facebook ads, and so kind of just going down detail into those nitty gritties and figuring out. It's brilliant, right? That ad universe is just mind boggling for the first time when you look at it. And in some cases it's even intimidating, but it's really fun, right? So that's one. The second kind of a personal hobby that I've picked up is close up card tricks. So I was surprised by the amount of YouTube videos that exist, where they'll teach you close up card tricks, right? So and small little hacks and sleight of hands and stuff like
Right.
that. So
Right.
that's kind of a like something that I know I'll stick to, and it's a really cool conversation starter. Puts you kind of in a different league, and just the smile that you see on the other person's face of being deceived. That's something that I also picked up during this time.
Awesome. Awesome. This was great, Yash. I think thank you so much. We're good. Thank you so much for taking our time and being our first ZMOT speaker for our first episode. And it was a pleasure to host you today. Thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you, Khushbu, for having me. Thank you.